lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work, triple play, yeah.
This is Triple Play Fantasy Basketball, giving you the Week 10 preview of the week coming up. I'm your host, Coach James Lewis. On the other end, Doc Mendelson. We hope you are enjoying your holiday season. This is the last show of 2024. Please hit us with a like, a comment, a sub if you like any of the content that you're about to witness. Speaking of witness, LBJ is about to be 40, baby, and they play Cleveland coming up. He sat out a little game. They still got a W against the Kings, which Mike Brown gets fired after a presser with the media and practice. Man, it's a lot to unpack there, my friend, but you can go ahead. The Lakers are rolling a little bit, and LeBron James is turning back the clock, but he doesn't. He's just been consistently.
James, let me just say this:
20+ years.
If they had lost against Golden State in a game where they built that lead, and then Steph Curry hit a couple ridiculous threes, that would have been it for LeBron. That would have been the nail in the coffin for his career. I wasn't hoping for it. I'm realizing we're witnessing with LeBron. I think I'm fair.
He dominated that game, top to bottom. AR-15 drew his own play and got a nice little matchup, little lay to win the game. After Steph Curry was starting to go nuclear at the end of that game. That shot after inbound catch and in the corner, LeBron contested. He shifts his body. I mean, it's amazing. It was a great game. I know you talk about the ratings. NBA had quite a ratings day. On Christmas Day, they showed out.
No, look at the NFL then.
That'll be one of the best games of the entire NBA season.
It will be. It was a good game. There have been a couple good games recently. Phoenix Golden State was good yesterday too.
Yeah, there was a night last week. There was like 4 game winners in one night. So let's get you prepared. Buckle up for week 10. Back to a more of a normal type fantasy week. There's not an overload with like 14, 15, 16 games in one day. There's not a day with 0 as we've kind of gotten familiar with recently. This is a stay on top of it. Use your moves very wisely type of week. Monday 7, Tuesday 6, Wednesday 8, Thursday 6, Friday 9, Saturday 9, Sunday 6. So all of those are kind of like your stream days. So you got to use them wisely. Typically, your league allows you 3. And ideally, you got injury spots. If not, you need to start your own league or move from that commissioner. A week ahead, just to give you a look-see, one team has 2, and that is the Phoenix Suns. And 13 have 4. That's your Boston, your Cleveland, Denver, Golden State, the Clippers, the Pelicans, Lakers, Knicks, OKC, Philly, Sacramento, Utah, and Washington. And, you're going to look at Sacramento, how they're doing their lineups now that Doug Christie is the head coach.
Shout out James for doing the graphic on all these. He could have just said 13 teams with 4, 16 teams with 3. He typed all this out.
Yeah. I mean, we want you to give you some visuals, but it said definitely we need to have the teams here. But when you hear Boston, you're thinking about a Sammy Hauser, or you're looking at Cleveland and whether you're gonna pick up or drop somebody that's there. Maybe it's Max Strus coming back. Maybe someone else in the mix. Teams with 3: Atlanta, Brooklyn, Chicago, Charlotte, Dallas, Detroit, Houston, Indiana, Memphis, which is a team to watch since Ja Morant is out, and that'll be our headline today. Milwaukee, Minnesota, Miami, Orlando, Portland, San Antonio Spurs, Toronto, and Phoenix with 2. There's the Warriors and Jazz go back-to-back on Monday, Tuesday, and at the end of the week, the Clippers and Cavs end out the week if you want to pick somebody up and get some extra games at the end of the week. Scotty Pippen Jr., don't walk, but run to pick the man up.
Clever, James. You make that up?
No, shout out former host Jacob Dunn, but he has been super, super valuable in the games that John Morant is out, and he loads it up in categories. So in category leagues, he's definitely hit that button. 14 points, 3 boards, 3 assists is what we've seen in the last week. But that's kind of his familiar territory when he is in the starting lineup and he's playing those starter minutes. He was still a productive fantasy player without with Ja in the mix. Without Ja, he becomes that lead point guard spot. Go pick up Pippen Jr.
So anytime I see an injury, I try to look at the actual injury itself. Twitter is great for that. And then to look at a little bit of context and their reaction.
Tell us how bad is it? How bad is it? It's a shoulder again.
Yeah, Ja Morant writhing in pain. Looks like it got caught on a Daniel Tyus screen. And this is the same shoulder that he had labrum surgery on last year. He's already expected to miss a few games, and that's before further imaging went. So obviously we know what Scotty Pippen Jr. can do, but this is someone that you are at, like I almost said Jacob. James said, I don't think this is going to be something short for Ja Morant. Memphis is second in the West right now. I think even if the injury isn't as bad as we think, they play a conservative route for him just so that they can have him back for the postseason.
Yeah, and Santi Aldama is, fighting injury himself with an ankle. It's like a week-to-week type of thing. So that'll open up some usage for some of these other players. They've been doing it by committee all season long, whether it's Jake LaRavia of the world. Zach Edey gets his days where he's eating. But yeah, Memphis is going to try to hold on, and hopefully, and for basketball wise, we need Ja Morant back, especially when we want to see him in the playoffs. So hoping that it's not a season ending type of thing, but it sounds like it's pretty serious. On the other end, Luka's missing some time here. And Spencer Dinwiddie is somebody that has benefited when Luka or Kyrie has been out. He's the type of person who's going to maybe shoot you out with field goal percentage, but he's a high assist guy when he gets playing time and he can score some buckets. He's definitely a valuable piece at 19% rostered. He, as well as Quentin Grimes, who is Doc's guy. My guy's more Spencer Dinwiddie, but two valuable options that if they're in the free agent area, those guys are going to be solid in the upcoming weeks as Dallas tries to find usage for their team.
It seems like Luka injury was kind of a ticking time bomb away. Like obviously not rooting for injury, but he's had a left heel, left calf contusion, sprain for a while. He's played a lot of minutes. He's a little bit on the rotund side, which puts a lot of weight on your body.
Calf injuries scare me. That them tissue type of injuries. Like I don't feel like the timetables on that. Like you don't really know exactly how long it is, and then typically I feel like it goes longer than what you're like expecting. If it's like a month.
The verbiage, he will be evaluated in a month. He is missing more than a month. So just keep that in mind. It's not, okay, he's coming back in 4 weeks. I think you're looking at a 6 to 8 week minimum. He's the franchise player. Obviously, like you said, Quentin Grimes, Spencer Dinwiddie. James, I'm going to lean with you a little bit, and I think Dinwiddie's going to put up more points. I still stamp that I think Grimes will give you a little bit more consistency with rebounds, but Dinwiddie's been playing more minutes. He played 35 yesterday, but Grimes playing 28, 29 the 2 games since Luka's been out. So both guys.
And Dallas was in that conversation for the Jimmy Butler. I don't see a package deal that would send him
He's going to Houston.
To Dallas. Like Houston would be able to give you the best package, but the Golden State package would be something at least intriguing.
No.
You're just going to
Yeah, B-Pods has killed any trade value.
Couple first-round picks. Who knows what they're going to be in a couple years from now. Steph Curry kind of at the end of the road.
The only thing they could offer that Miami,
you got Jonathan Kuminga too, would be in
but they're not giving Kuminga. They're not giving Kuminga up.
Why not?
James.
Do it for the Gipper. Like, do it one last road. Like let's get it done. I don't know.
James, let's be realistic.
All right, we'll move on. Yeah, Dallas got some young pieces that you could get out of there. Plus, you could probably get more trade assets because they have them. Trevelin Queen has been getting some swipes recently put into the lineup. I mean, they're missing their two alphas, and they're kind of trying to do it by committee, trying to get as many wins as they can. But it's a bit of a struggle. Having, two of the top, maybe, 30 players in the NBA out for your team. But they're still dominant on defense between him and then Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who's a two guy across the line. He's not shot the ball well this year, but one thing is a guarantee. He's going to get 30-plus minutes every single night, and he's going to get you a little bit of something. So he's one of those safer picks. And if you get, 4 games out of Orlando, he's a good person to look at. We don't know with Queen as far as how his role will stand out going forward, but 2 guys in Orlando that deserve a mention and a look and maybe a stream for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope today on a Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that worries me, Queen has played 4 games essentially getting recalled from the G League, 18, 34, 37, 26 minutes. Those fluctuate a little bit. KCP, remember they signed him to a big deal in the offseason. He's averaging 31 minutes a game. I'm surprised KCP is only rostered in 27% of leagues. I mean, look at those steal numbers. 1.5, 1 blocks, averaging.
I mean, I'm not though too at the same time. Like his lines, like he's had 2 games over 20 this year. He had 2 games where he had 24. Everything else is like borderline 10 or under. He's got a lot of single digit performance games. And
I mean, fair to say he's a categories league guy if you're going to roster him.
Yeah. And he's a stream steal guy too. And if, he's always going to get you at least a 3. But we move on because he is honestly a little bit boring of a fantasy player. Somebody that was exciting this week and then built question marks when he got that 14 minutes. When Cam Whitmore plays basketball and he gets minutes, and much like Atari Eason, like they're cooking. They're going to give you really good value when they play. So you might have saw he dropped 27, picked him up, and then boom, he had a 14-minute game and did nothing. So it's a risk reward type of situation, but Houston, I feel like they tend to have some injuries there in the middle of their lineup, which does open up opportunities. Maybe he's the trade piece of a Jimmy Butler deal.
I could definitely see that. My commentary always on Cam Whitmore: don't pick him up to stream assists. He is a ball hog.
Yeah, he's a bucket getter.
He's a ball hog.
Yeah.
He's a ball hog. I don't think in his NBA career has had a game with 2 assists.
He's a bucket getter. That's why.
He's a ball hog.
He's going to score points. Okay.
James last year, 47 games played, 0.7 assists per game. This year, 13 games played, 0.5 assists. He is a ball hog.
Shout out Baltimore basketball.
This could be what's holding him from getting more minutes.
Yeah. Or just the team is holding him back. I hope he gets a different opportunity here because he definitely has talent. Shout out Derek Queen for University of Maryland, who should go lotto. He's just cooking so much. I'm just Baltimore basketball real quick. I digress. I move on. Jimmy Butler's away from the team, not playing right now. Jaime Jaquez, Duncan Robinson, familiar faces to the pod. Jaime Jaquez is going to give you a little bit more, filling up the categories league. Last year as a rookie, he really bolstered his stock and was playing really good basketball. He showed that he was league ready right away. Right now, I don't really know what Miami's doing with as far as like who's going to fill in this usage. You have Terry Rozier's up and down. He played 20 minutes last game, 28 the game before. I don't really know who's going to get it.
Is getting minutes.
Yeah. So they're just trying to keep it rolling a little bit. I like Jaime Jaquez. I don't think Duncan Robinson is the worst option. I know he had a donut, but in all the other games, he's getting you 3, 4, 5 threes to get you a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. And he ain't the worst guy to go out there and stream and pick up.
James, we talked about Duncan Robinson. I feel like he's been.
Yeah, you don't like him,
right? I think we know who he is.
He's a good guy. You would want your daughter to date him.
I mean, maybe he's a good-looking guy. I mean, that's besides the point. Minutes are going down. He was playing 28 last year, now playing 23.5. His scoring is going down. Field goal percentage is down. 3-point percentage is down. Rebounds, assists, steals are all down. So I think he has a very limited ceiling. Yes, he can get you between 13 to 17 points, with the majority of those being 3-pointers. But I don't think there's going to be that much upside of 20, 30-plus point plus games that we saw before. I think Jaquez gives you a little bit more of that upside. He's a little bit younger. We saw he had a 5-steal game. James, doesn't that look like AI? Like, doesn't this look like a NBA 2K version of Jaime Jaquez?
Oh, yeah, that guy plays outdoor NBA street basketball for sure with the headband. Jaime Jaquez, I guess.
No, I'm saying like this looks like a video game graphic on the right.
Yeah.
Jaime Hawktua.
Bro, man. No, he didn't. You just hit a Hawktua, man.
No, but come on, that'd be a good nickname. Jaime Hawktua.
No, it would not. I want to say this on Duncan. In the past like 3 weeks, he's had 2 games where he had donuts, 0 points. But he's also had a 23-point line with 4 threes, 19 with 5 threes, 17 with 5 threes. Last game, he had 16, 5, and 5, and hit 4 threes, 2 steals. So
it took him 38 minutes to do that. He's averaging 23.5 minutes on the season. What is going to be more likely? Him scoring 10 points with 4 rebounds, 3 threes, or 2 threes in 27 minutes, or what he did in that 38-point game?
Well, you're not going to pick him up against Orlando because those were the 2 games where he got strapped up. But if he's playing Atlanta or some of these teams that don't play as much defense.
Toronto, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 threes, 18 minutes.
All right, I'll take him over the similar stats.
Wait, Jaquez or Duncan Robinson?
Jaquez over Robinson, but Robinson over P. Will,
okay,
who's in the starting lineup again for Chicago, team that we've seen in years, and these are similar stats: 11, 3, 2, threes sometimes, and some defensive stats. Boring. This is boring. I'll move on. Go ahead.
This is somebody that is a better fantasy player than real life. Like, if you ever watch Bulls games, or if you just go on Bulls Reddit, apparently he just stands around and does nothing for minutes on end, but somehow gets decent stats for fantasy. So that's my commentary on him. Look, he gives you a little bit of everything. I don't think that he has a high ceiling, but if Chicago decides to finally move Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams is going to be someone that's a beneficiary of that. Only 23 years old.
Let's get Zach LaVine in a Los Angeles Lakers uniform.
No.
Moving on, this is a tough subject. Every time I look at the Nets uniforms, I'm like, man, Dennis Schroeder was my guy. I'm on the verge of about to maybe cut him as his production is falling off a cliff for the Warriors. He's not shooting the ball as well, but you know, it's been kind of who's filling in that usage since he has departed, and Keon Johnson has been starting recently. And I think the last 7 games. Huh?
I said the great Keon.
I don't understand the reference. Or are you just making up a nickname?
It's a Star Fox 64 reference, James. You wouldn't.
Okay, cool. 5% rostered. He's probably should have more roster shit, or he's at 9 already in one day. Since he does play today, he had 25 points last game, hit 4 threes. 4 rebounds. He's been consistently getting you at least 4 rebounds in the last 4 games. He's gotten at least a steal in those games. He had a game with 3, game with 2, and in the last 3 games, he had 4 threes, 2 threes, 2 threes. And he's starting right now. But it does look like some of those players are coming back, a la Ben Simmons, and I think Cam Thomas is around there.
Yeah.
Noah Clowney had been cooking, and then didn't play basically as much last game, but had been hitting threes, which bodes well for the future for him. And then I just will say this before I give you the mic. Shake Milton had 16 points and 12 dimes last game, and then he had 20 points in the game prior to that. It's really and they missed Cam Johnson too, which I think he's coming back. So
yeah. So Cam Johnson day to day should be coming back. Maybe misses a game or two. Cam Thomas supposed to be coming back, but I wouldn't be surprised if he sits out back-to-backs or misses the third of a 3-game stretch if they have a 4-game week. Be interesting to see. Nick Claxton been fluctuating minutes, but Zaire Williams has missed 11 games with a hamstring issue. Doesn't seem like he's coming back. And another thing to note, Brooklyn 12-19. I think that's better than Vegas expected them to do, but they're still not contending this year. So with these younger guys, Clowney that's 20 years old, Keon Johnson that's 22, they might want to see what they have more in them than they do Shake Milton, who's 28. I can see Shake Milton being a valuable trade piece. And obviously the trade deadline is another month and a half away. But if you can stash these guys earlier, if you can keep them on your radar, I think they're going to provide relevance later in the season.
Yeah, you always want to look ahead. So keeping those guys on the radar, as Doc has mentioned, for when Ja has an injury and you can be the first one to go get a Pippen Jr. Now it's not Pippen Jr. and Dinwiddie. I've noticed a theme of these guys. They're all like wing players, and they're all like 11, 3-3, a couple 3-pointers. So it does depend on who's available on their teams. It depends on their schedule and who's on heaters for who you should pick up for that week or that day. That's the theme of the show that I kind of put together. We didn't have any big men at all. Like, this is like a non-big man show.
That's true.
They need to step up. They need to step it up.
No Donovan Clingan today. That's a first for you, James.
It's a tough subject right there. 8 needs to get moved. All right. Well, we do wish you a happy new year. Many blessings to you and your family going forward. This upcoming year, may 2025 be an amazing year for you guys. And if you made it this long, we do appreciate you so very much. Doc, I appreciate you as well. Thank you for, coming through every weekend and, bringing your personality and being a good guy, man.
The respect is mutual, James. If you can't tell what good of a person James is, just look at that background. He's made sure that for this, he's decorated the walls. He has a holiday tree up. He's got a couple jerseys framed. James is a family man, week in, week out, with 2 kids, puts in the effort for this show, always in a good attitude till he has to see me.
Good luck. There might be a shakeup in our league too, man. There might be a new person in that number 1 spot. Could be me. It could be you. You never know.
Okay.
All right, we'll see what happens going forward this year.
Happy New Year's, everyone. Catch you in 2025. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit comments, share to your MySpace, send this on AOL Instant Messenger and whatever other outdated platforms you have.
Dude, I got AOL email. It's my first email. I still got it. So shout that out. We'll talk about that next time. All right, Doc. Peace.